Have you ever asked yourself, why am I like this? Why am I like this? I don't understand myself. Why do I freeze when I'm stressed? Why do I shut down in relationships? Why do I shut down when people say certain things to me? Why does my body feel like it's always bracing for some sort of bad news, some sort of catastrophe? Okay, I want to talk to you guys about that today. So if you've ever asked those questions, I want to tell you something, you guys. It's very, very, very important. You're not broken, first of all, okay? You are protected. That's what's happening. You're protected. Okay, that's what we're going to talk about today on Trauma Talks. I'm Krystal Boothe, and we're going to talk about what trauma is actually does to the brain, so that you understand that, and why your survival responses are not personal failures. They are signs of a brilliant, very brilliant nervous system trying to keep you safe. Okay, that's what they are. I know this both professionally and personally. There was a time in my life when I constantly overfunctioned. I stayed hypervigilant and I couldn't relax. Yeah, because I didn't feel safe enough in my stillness. I didn't feel safe in my body. My nervous system was always scanning the next threat, the next letdown. That was my survival brain. And it was absolutely exhausting. But it was also incredibly common when I found out later, especially for those of us who've experienced trauma. This is a common occurrence. So let's break it down a little bit more. What's happening inside of your brain so that you can understand it, honor it, and eventually heal it. Okay? So that's what I want to work with you guys on today. This is great. Thank you guys for joining me on Trauma Talks. Okay? I want to talk to you about, teach you about this from the aspect of the true brain model. Okay? So let's talk about that, the brain from that point, and why it responds the way that it does under stress, so that you understand what's really happening here. We're going to simplify it, and we're going to break it down today for you, okay? And we're going to break it down into 3 major parts, okay? All right, so the first part we're going to talk about is the brain stem. This is the survival brain. It controls fight, flight, freeze, fawn responses, okay? Think of it as your body's alarm system. When you sense danger, real or perceived, it activates instantly to keep you safe. Okay? All right, so that's how it works. Then the second part is the limbic system. This is your emotional brain, okay? It processes fear, attachment, pain, okay, pleasure, and memory. This part of your brain helps you interpret emotional signals, okay? Like when someone raises their voice or pulls away in silence, this is the part of the brain that gets activated. It remembers how past experiences made you feel, and it helps determine whether something is threatening. Okay? All right, so that's the limbic system. It will come online at points too. Okay, so let's talk about the third part of the brain in this, the prefrontal cortex. Okay, this is your executive brain. It's responsible for logic, reasoning, decision-making, impulse control, and long-term planning. It's the part of your brain that helps you regulate, set goals, think clearly, and respond instead of react. All right? So this is what it does. So now here's where trauma comes in, you guys. This is where the trauma shows up. When you've experienced something, especially in early childhood, or if you've experienced chronic stress, emotional neglect, or that brainstem and the limbic system become overdeveloped, right? While the prefrontal cortex, the executive part, that becomes underactive or harder to access. So the other 2 parts become extremely accessible. The other becomes less. Okay, so in simple terms, you learn to prioritize problem solving over, you learn to prioritize safety over problem solving. This means that you're triggered, your body reacts first to survive. So anytime you trigger instead of problem solving, before you ever get a chance to think about what you could do, this is why you might go immediately into shutdown during a conflict, people pleasing without realizing it, or feel like your emotional hijack, your emotions are hijacked. You hijacked your clarity. Okay, you don't have any clarity at this point, and that's not because you're weak. It's because your brain has adapted to survive. Okay, yeah, it's adapted to survive. Okay, so let's really take this to the next level. Okay, I really want to bring this topic home. I want you to hear this clearly. Okay, the survival mode is not a flaw. It's a function. All right, it's not a flaw. It's a function. When your brain keeps feeling unsafe, it takes you out of the logic and into protection. Okay, I hope you're following me here. Let me give you some signs that you might be operating from a survival dormant nervous system. Yes, you need to know this. Okay, you overthink over small decisions. Okay, that's one sign. Another sign is you can't relax even when everything is fine. You still can't feel like you're relaxed. You avoid hard conversations to keep the peace. You people please and overextend yourself. You feel chronically anxious, numb, or disconnected. You procrastinate not because you're lazy, but because your brain feels overwhelmed. Okay? These character flaws, okay? These are not character flaws. These are not character flaws. They are the result of your brain doing its best to help you survive when what once felt unbearable. Okay? All right, so here's the good news. Your brain has plasticity. It can change with safety, connection, and intentional healing practices like self-empathy. You can begin to reopen the new neural pathways to your executive brain. Yes, and begin to make choices from peace, not from protection. Okay, so all your choices have been coming from protection. Now you can start to make those decisions from peace. That's going to be a big game changer for you right there. Okay, so if trauma and chronic stress reroute us into survival mode, how do we get out? Okay, I know you guys want to know how. Get out. How do I get out of this? How do we get access again to that calm, clear, confident part of ourselves? Okay, that's the part of the brain, that really kind of helps us get things done in life. So that's what I'll show you guys in episode 2. Okay, so let's talk about the executive brain, why it's crucial for helping healthy relationships, leadership, and mental clarity, and how you can access it more. So that's what we're going to be talking about in episode 2. Okay, we're going to be doing this by creating emotional safety in your body first. So that's just a little hint. Okay, because real healing doesn't come from shaming your survival responses. No, it does not come from that. It comes from honoring them and giving your brain something it may have never had: consistent, compassionate safety. Yes. Okay, so I want you guys, if this content is useful for you, if it resonated with you, helpful in any way, and just go ahead and comment, I'm ready to heal. Okay, leave that in the comments. I'm ready to heal your nervous system with compassion and not criticism. I'm ready to heal. And don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to, like this page so that you can see more content like this. Okay, so tomorrow we'll see you for the next episode on this topic. And great to have you guys. Look forward to seeing you tomorrow. Okay, remember, you're not broken. You're healing. Okay, keep that in mind. And I'm here to walk with you on that journey. I'm ready to do that. Okay. So thank you for watching Trauma Talks, and I will see you guys next time. Okay, bye-bye.